It's this place. We've been this place a few times. The lighting and indoor heating both beckon me inside with inviting warmth. The aroma of fresh ground coffee, too. What an artfully crafted atmosphere this place has taken on. I shouldn't order coffee, though. I need to be able to sleep tonight. And besides, I'm in the mood for something sweet. Well, who am I kidding? I'm always in the mood for something sweet.
Welcome to the Cafe Mangetsu. What are you in the mood for today, miss?
Miss? I decided it'd be easier to not correct her. I peer upward at the menu, a wide black chalkboard with each item listed in a rainbow of different eye-catching pastels. I feel like having... You know what? It's wretchedly wet outside. Let's have a hot chocolate. Rather than speak my order out loud, I decided to be less painful just to point at it on the menu and refer to it by number. I awkwardly fumble with the bills and change in my wallet until I've counted out the amount due to the coin level. With no change to get back, the waitress simply hands me the receipt.
Please have a seat, miss. Your order will be with you shortly.
She says this with a warm smile, causing a trace amount of heat to find my face as well. I turn in with a tiny sheepish smile of my own. I take a seat by the windows. The rain really is pleasant, as long as I am indoors. I watch the people outside from behind the rain-soaked window, scurrying to and from their daily toils and all their mortal joy and woe. I, alone in the cafe, situated in the window seat and gazing wistfully out at the eternally grey skies, the tears they weep and the people they fall upon. Someone ought to photograph me like this. This aesthetic is to die for. Drink! Before long, my order of hot chocolate arrives. The sweet aroma of the chocolate wafts upward, along with the drifting ghosts of steam, little Halloween kids with bags full of sweets. Note to self, buy some hot chocolate, it's winter. The gigantic marshmallows floating at the top, stained with cocoa brown, were an unexpected addition, but an entirely welcome one. Even so, patience is needed lest I burn my tongue. Oh, true. But once it has sufficiently cooled, the hot chocolate is particularly splendid. Sweet and warm, the embrace of a loving family on a frigid winter's morning. ... I could spend hours in here, and I had something to occupy the time aside from the treat I ordered. Maybe a book? There's still a bunch in my room that are relatively intact. I must have read each of them like 10 times already, but that's simply because they're that good. Well, the cafe owners would probably get very cross with me if I tried occupying a seat in here for hours, plus they might question as to what a freshman kid is doing away from home for so long. Oh no, they'd probably be happy. They'd just buy something. Maybe I would just ask if they'd be okay with me spending my evenings here. This is like a little mom-and-pop cafe joint, after all. Maybe they'd be cool about it. After all, no offense, but this place isn't exactly crowded, so maybe they'd say yes if I could just... Yeah, man, it's no big deal. They'd be happy for your patronage. A white car just hit a woman on the sidewalk in front of the window. Good God. And it didn't stop. The driver didn't emerge to check if she was okay. It just swerved back onto the road and kept going. Her body just lies there on the sidewalk, soaking in the rain, her umbrella upturned on the pavement and slowly filling up with rainwater, and she still isn't moving. Is that blood? Everyone else in the cafe is also staring at the scene with mixed reactions of horror, bewilderment, and morbid fascination. It's much the same outside as well. I rise from my seat, leaving my half-emptied order at the table. I can't stay here. Hastily, I flick the switch on my umbrella and handle to release it, before I gently open the door and briskly walk as far from the scene as possible. Is a sentence fragment. I guess I was meant to kind of continue off with the previous sentence. I hope I didn't just watch someone die in front of me. But it was just a crash. People survive those all the time. Perhaps she'll simply be disabled somehow for the rest of her life. But hey, at least she'll be collecting a fat paycheck from the government every month now, right? Yeah, I'll let that thought comfort me. Being that this neighborhood is within walking distance of Sarabatu High and all, there's gotta be more than a few kids my age around here, right? It's not like I could just go door to door and be like, hey, you want to be friends or something? That only works when you're young. And the one time it did work, I wasn't the one doing it. I miss you, Sayori. Sayori? Is she gone? If not for the abundance of drainage grates along the sidewalks, the walkway to the house's entrance would have been a small lake by now. Thank the Lord this is where the tax money goes. Once I am safely underneath the veranda's cover, I close my umbrella, insert my house key into the lock, twist, and gently open the door. Gently opening a lot of doors right now, man. After closing the door behind me, I simply stand at the entryway and stare forward blankly for a while. In anime and movies and whatnot, whenever a kid enters his house, he would shout, "I'm home!" That's apparently the normal thing to do. But it's a habit I never picked up. I instead simply let out a quiet exhale and listen to the pitter-patter of rain as it welcomes me in response. I don't suppose the rain made me dinner, did it? I briefly glance around the living room before being reminded that nothing has changed since the last time I was here. Same sofas, same TV, same bland cabinets, filled with who knows what. Though in all honesty, it's just as likely they're filled with nothing at all. I don't think ever in my life I've actually opened them for myself. I sigh and heft my backpack, continuing onward towards the kitchen. I drop my backpack to the floor and zip it open before extracting the plastic container with my half of the cupcakes. Damn it, looks like they've got a little beat up in transit. The cold air inside the fridge crashes against me as I gently open its door. Yeah, not much has changed in here either. Looks like it's cupcakes for dinner. I crack open the container's cover and cup a cupcake. It's a white frosting taken on a calamitous character of crushed crap. After placing my meal on a plate and stowing the rest away into the fridge for later, I close the door, sling my backpack over my shoulder, and head upstairs. Lazily, I let the backpack slip from my shoulder and slump to the floor, before placing my dinner plate on the desk and face planting into the sheets of my bed. So warm, so comfy. God damn it. I need to not go to sleep in my uniform again. Brr. And like the timely intervention of God, my phone shakes me out of my impending slumber.
How's it hanging, bro? Just got done with soccer practice.
On the soccer team, are you?
You know it. Hey, do you play soccer, bro? You should join the team. Trust me, dude, the guys you practice with on the field are gonna be your mates for life. Nothing like a bond forged in the fires of sportsmanly competition. Heck, I'm hanging out with the dudes right now. Headed to some karaoke joint that Watari was telling us about. Watari's one of the guys on the team, which dudes fast like lightning and kicks harder than a mule. It had to fend all these guys off just so it could have a moment to text you, lol. But it did it, cause I'm a man of my word. Alright, I'm needed elsewhere, but take care, man. See you tomorrow with English.
See you then. Yeah, that's about what I expected from him. Still, he actually seems like a really genuine guy, despite his popularity. Or maybe that's why he's popular. I need to not assume the worst of people so much. Don't have any outstanding homework that needs, or what needs doing. Took care of most of that yesterday, and my history paper isn't due till Monday. Given the progress I've already made on it, that isn't incredibly urgent. I could start studying for my stats exam, but I don't feel like it. So instead, I power on my Gamecast machine and search through the shelf of stacked boxes, each decorated with colorful, eye-catching art. I feel like playing Wyvern Odyssey, The Forsaken Prince Eastward Bound, Tatakai Sengoku's 8, or Souls and Swords 3. This one sounds pretty straightforward. Souls and Swords is the perfect kind of game to just pick up and play anytime. Since it's a fighting game, I can hop on arcade mode and start beating up on bots. Play online, you baby! Since I haven't unlocked her story mode yet, I picked Vasiliki, a female warrior from the hidden Greek city of Sparta who fights with a spear and shield. My first opponent is Ryuzaki, the obligatory samurai character in a series that mostly takes place in Europe. I don't know what I mean. He's one of the more basic fighters, but can switch things up with his stance mechanic. Not that I end up seeing the CPU utilize it. He goes down in no time at all. Vasiliki's spacing tools and defensive flow sure is a force to be reckoned with. As I fight through the next couple of opponents, I find it difficult to ascertain what exactly her weaknesses really are. Maybe it's just because the CPU sucks, but she seems pretty unstoppable. At least, until I reach one of Arcade Mode's much maligned mid-bosses, a gigantic animated statue. Which, ironically enough, uses Vasiliki's model and animations, just scaled up with a stony texture overlay. And as usual, it's an absolute bitch to fight. But minus one with. Its vertical attacks are easy enough to sidestep using 8-way movement, but it's the horizontal attacks that I can't figure out the counterplay to, especially when its weapon is a long-ass spear. Guarding only works 2 or 3 times since its attacks eat up your guard gauge like it's nothing at all, so I just have to hope and pray I get good RNG on its attacks. Thankfully, it goes down after just 1 round, but you can bet your ass it'll make it the most annoying and stressful round possible. As I continue onward through the next sets of fighters, the difficulty steadily increases. Good. Vasiliki didn't endure Spartan training just to be faced with whelps. Finally, I face one of the 3 final bosses you can get in arcade mode. Malice, the manifestation of the evil sword Kalibolg, and the thousands of souls trapped within. Probably pronounced that wrong. There's a prominent theory that Malice is actually Eckhard Kraus, the protagonist and anti-hero of the first Souls and Swords game, which was called Soulbrand back then. But I'm too new to the series to make any educated guesses. It's weird how fanatical people get about the lore of the series, given it's a fighting game set in a nonsensical fantasy reality. If only people had the same enthusiasm for actionable good stories. Me, I just play for the cool mechanics and neat character designs. And that's Vasiliki's story mode unlocked. Gotta check that out sometime. Even if it's no masterpiece of writing, it still manages to be entertaining. I look to my right at the empty plate sitting on the floor, with nothing but crumbs as evidence there was ever anything there. Guess I didn't even notice I'd been munching on the cupcakes this whole time. Kind of a feat playing a fighting game using your hands full. That being said, my eyes are kinda getting heavy. What time is it? I tap my phone awake and read the time. It says 11:36 p.m. Holy shit! How long have I been gaming? I guess he could have been taking bites out of the cupcake in between rounds and stuff. I quickly save my progress and shut the gamecast off before pulling my uniform's blazer off my shoulders and hanging it in the closet. I already promised I would not go to bed in this thing. I pick up a pile of casual clothes I left on the floor forever ago and head to the bathroom with them in hand. I wash my hands and brush my teeth over the sink. And strip out of my uniform. I take a moment to look at myself in the mirror. Hallie, you really gotta lay off the sugary stuff. And all of a sudden, it feels as though a knife has just been lodged in my stomach. It's a strange, disquieting mix of boiling pain and the stirring buzz of a hornet's nest. Without thinking, I throw the toilet lid open. Gross, man. You have a bad cupcake or something? And promptly empty my guts into its bowl. I don't need to see this. No. Not this shit already. It's my 2nd day of high school, god damn it. I stare down at my own reflection swirling about in the lazily shifting cloud of semi-solid vomitus. Why? Why am I like this? I should just gargle some mouthwash, roll into bed, and hope I can sleep off whatever this is. I carry out my plan of attack to the letter. Gargle, crawl, sleep. Gnarly, bro. After slipping on a plain black t-shirt and shorts, I stumble over to my bed, head still swimming from the exertion of my labored heaving. As tempted as I am to simply crash down into the covers, I know it's not a smart idea to risk jostling my innards any further, so I slither under the sheets like a snake in the grass. Phew. My body trembles and beads of sweat accumulate on my forehead. Good. With any luck, this will be purged by the time my alarm sounds. I force my eyes closed, hoping I can trick my body into submitting to sleep, and before long it actually seems to work. Every function in this machine of flesh begins to slow, even my rebellious stomach, until consciousness fades into the blackness along with all else. Teenagers scare the living shit out of you. Sarabadu High's bullies are notorious for their viciousness. Well, we haven't met any yet, so good? Click to continue. Maybe we'll get our ass kicked someday. Be silent, phone of mine. Morning. Damn it. People always refer to fever dreams as if they're these terrifying psychedelic trips full of shadow people and shit. Why don't I ever see cool stuff when I fall asleep sick? I shifted my sheets, slowly, deliberately testing the waters. I feel like hell, of course. That much is nothing unusual, but my restless gut is an added variable. Luckily, it seems a full night's sleep did the trick. My body is once again returned to a state of tolerable dysfunction. Though it still feels like a block of lead as I crawl out from under the covers and stumble to my feet. But at least my innards don't feel like molten lead. As I stand up straight, I shake my head like a cartoon character who got soaked by a bucket of water, attempting to dislodge any remaining sleepiness that hangs stubbornly on. I think it worked, though the tiredness still remains. My mouth gapes wide in a prolonged, eye-watering yawn as I open my closet doors and fetch the various pieces of my school uniform. Wonder if Mom's old iron still works. This blazer could use a once-over, but there's no time for that right now. With my uniform draped over my arm, I exhale heavily before shuffling towards the bathroom for the next part of my morning routine. As usual, the sound of the rain muffles slightly when I enter the bathroom and gently close the door behind me, owing to its lack of windows, but I still hear it beating on the roof. My casual clothes, light as they are, slip off easily before I leave them in a heap on the countertop. That's right. I'm underneath this roof, sheltered from the storm, only to step into the shower and get soaked anyway. The rain must feel furiously cuckolded. Well, I mean, you can control the temperature of the shower, at least.